crazy backflip. Definitely got to talk about that one. Sketch roof drop. Sketch. Oh, that is so gnar. Wow, what an ender.
Thank you.
Welcome to About That Ender, Chris Ratface Jatoft.
Correct.
Jatoft.
You got it.
All right, cool. I got it right.
Nailed it.
Right. All right, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to come out.
I appreciate you letting me get out here early so I can beat all the traffic. That's awesome.
That's what's up. All right, so where are you from, Chris?
Grew up in Walnut Creek, California, aka Duffelland.
You've lived there your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I was at my parents' house and then moved to Concord with my sister Ashley. Was out there for a year doing life insurance and stuff. And
doing life insurance?
Yeah, my father's Jatoft Fody agency and worked his whole life to support all 8 of his kids. So definitely kind of branched into insurance for a bit, but it definitely wasn't my thing.
So you have 7 brothers and sisters?
Yeah, 7 brothers and sisters,
including a twin brother. You told me. I just found out before we came on. You were telling me you had a twin brother, but he's not identical.
No, not at all. But we get along great, and he always reminds me that he's 10 minutes older. That's for sure. Brotherly love.
Respect your elders.
Oh, absolutely. But it's all good because when I'm like 80, I'll be 10 minutes younger.
There you go.
Perspective.
I like that. So I wanted to ask, where does the name Ratface come from? Where does that start?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the story. When I was younger, I used to skate with Corey Duffel's brother time to time, Kevin Duffel. And one time I was like, I needed wheels. I think I was probably like 15 at the time, or 16. And I was just like, hey, Kevin, like, can I get a pair of wheels? Like, I'll pay you like $15 or something. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like strapped right now. And he's like, yeah, come by my house at like this day at this time. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'll see you then. So then, I waited the 3 or 4 days or whatever, super stoked. And then skated on down to Corey's parents' house. And yeah, it was like, I knocked on the door, sweating like 25 minutes later. And like Steve Duffel opens the door, his dad, and he's just all like, how's it going? I was like, good. Is Kevin here? And he's all like, nope. We just had this like awkward stare off going. And I'm like sitting in my head like, but he said he was going to be here this time. And then I realized I was just standing in front of him still. And this guy's standing in the doorway. And I was just like, oh, thank you. Bye. And I like turned around, didn't state my name or anything. And went back to the skate shop the next day. And I just happened to walk in at that moment when they're all like, wait, who went to Corey's house to buy wheels? And I was like, oh, that was me. And they're like, wait, you're Ratface? And I was like, what? And then everyone starts cracking up, busting up. And then, as the laughter settled, he was just all like, yeah, apparently, like, you went to Corey's house and Steve answered the door, said some Ratface kid showed up asking for Corey. And I was all like, man, I wasn't even there to see Corey. But, like, and so Joel was just, like, all busting up about it. And I was just like, all right. And he's like, I don't know, man. That's, like, a pretty, like, good name. Like, people are not going to forget that, it's kind of like, Lizard King or something type deal. And basically, he's like, so what do you think? And I was just like, he's like, come on, it'd be red. And I was like, I was a young kid. So I was like, all right. So sure enough, I didn't know Joel was getting into, like,
Joel
Judiger from Metro skate shop before it was Metro Skateboarding. And that was my first sponsor when I was younger. And so Joel was like just getting into Photoshop and all that. And I didn't know that. So sure enough, like, a week later at least, like Joel has a photo of me like doing a backside wall ride over the China Bank's small bench. And I always do this weird thing with my finger where I like kind of like point when I'm skating. And I was like pointing and looking down. And he photoshopped this like rat head with like beady red eyes, just like, right over my face. So he had another shot of me jumping off an extension. And then the other like whole finger thing was pointing and the rat's looking again. And it was some pretty funny photos. I got to give it to him. It was good.
So do you like the name now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's grown on me.
You own it?
Yeah. And I mean, like people like come up to me sometimes. They'll be like, hey, Art, do you have a nickname? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, hey, what's up, Ratface? And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like, nah, it's cool, dude. I don't mind it. Oh, call me Ratface, like, list goes on. But yeah, I don't mind it at all. And before it was like,
what do you prefer to be called? I mean, it probably depends on who the person is.
Well, I don't know. Some people kind of have fun with it and they're like, oh, what up, Rat? And like, they'll, so I'm like, whatever you want to call me. I'm not going to be offended. Like, we're homies. It's cool.
That's cool.
Like, if you're doing it maliciously, like, that's another story. But,
yeah,
it's usually not in that regard.
Right on. I was just curious.
Yeah.
But that's a kind of a cool story that, I mean, that is a super cool story.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, at least it comes from a cool place and not like an ugly place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how old were you when you started skating?
Probably 9 years old.
9?
Yeah.
How did it start?
God, my buddies at school, like, we were all like kind of getting skateboards and stuff. And my parents got me some like knockoff, like I think it was like a cheesy Cheeto skateboard, like some Target brand type board. And I was like, kind of stoked on it. And then me and my friends started skating a bunch more. And it was just kind of like,
How old are you right now?
27.
27?
Yeah.
So
getting older.
Let's see, I'm terrible at math. So what year was it when you started skating?
18 years. I skated for 18 years and I was 9 years old. So 9 years.
I'm terrible at math. What year is that? What year was it?
You can't. I can't go that far. I don't know. Back in the day.
I'm just curious what generation you're coming from.
90s.
90s.
Yeah.
Late 90s?
Early 90s. I was born in 1990. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your Thrasher part.
Okay.
We were just watching that. If you want to look it up, it's under Chris Ratface Jatoft Rat Race part.
Yep.
Right? All right, and this dropped in 2016, right? Like June-ish? Somewhere around there. Some mid 2016.
Around that time, yeah.
All right. So the very first thing that I wanted to talk about was like the intro, because there's a couple of like montage clips that just I don't know. It's a good preview of the part, I guess you could say, because there's like a super hard bail, and then like a TV falls off of first you're trying to drop in off of a fence that just completely gets annihilated when you try to drop off of it. Then there's a hard bail in like a bank spot. Then there's like a spot with like a DIY quarter pipe where there's a TV just like falling off the top of the quarter pipe. Man. And then you ollie down a mountain.
Oh yeah.
So let's watch those spots real quick.
Yosemite.
Just for those people who aren't watching, you know what we're looking at. So he tries to drop in off this fence and it breaks right before.
I felt really bad about that.
Oh man. And then TV drops, and then it shows his name as he rides and then ollies a gap literally on like this big rock downhill mountain. What's going on with that? Riding down a mountain.
I've always liked to just try to like find something to skate if it's skatable, like, try and skate it. You go to random spots, like I think it was in Utica Reservoir. They have like a lot of flat rocks and stuff, and went camping out there and brought my board and had a blast. Like, you can skate it, like natural rock quarters or like little bumps or something, like, go for it. Skateboarding's all around you.
Now, when you approach a spot like that where you're like, hey, I'm about to ride down a mountain, is it like a planned thing? Or is it just, hey, there's a mountain, I'm going to go ride down it?
I'd say the gap was planned, but like, you know what I mean? There's so many rocks.
Okay, so that particular gap was like, I want to go skate this area and do this little rock gap.
Yeah.
Do you put on some like special wheels? Like, do you change your gear up a little bit so like you can handle it a little bit better? Or do you just like, fuck it, I'm
Sometimes, doing it? Yeah. Like, not that particular moment. That was just kind of, we were driving down the road, like coming back from, I think, that Volcom skate park, Mammoth Lakes. And we just pulled over on the side of the road, like, because we saw a bunch of flat rocks and we're like, oh, cool. And like, we'd been kind of spotting it out, like, as we drove down. And this was just one of the spots I was like, oh, let's check this out. And then found that little gap and was like, all right, if I can like make speed from this part of the mountain, then, maybe I can like ride down the rest. I'll try to go as far as I can and see how it goes.
Was that first try?
maybe first, second try. I think it could have been second. Like, just getting used to the gap. Like,
no bails on it. No bails on the mountain.
No, thank God I didn't hit a rock and then go flying forward. I got lucky.
Well, you did hit a rock. You were hitting a rock all the way down the mountain.
I guess I'm glad the rocks never stopped. I just kind of lean back, try to stay on the back of your weight.
Yeah, just light on your feet. Just be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
It's so fun, I like it.
I mean, I wish I had the balls to do that because it looks really fun.
You could.
I mean, I would love to ride down a mountain, but I would I would plan it and like put on like my Filmer soft wheels and make sure I have like a nice big board and make sure I have like a big cushy sweatshirt on.
Probably a better idea.
All right. So the very next trick after this is like a drop onto, oh man, crazy roof. All right. So you like, was that like nose pick?
A little nose blunt yanking.
Yeah, nose blunt yanking off of like the very top of, I don't even know what that was. Looks like a chimney.
It's a parking garage structure. It's like,
but it's got this
right near an apartment complex, and this lady was yelling at me. You can hear in the clip where I'm like, I'll be out of here in 2 seconds.
That's what I was asking, because I could hear that. I could hear you yelling at her as you're running up, like, don't worry, I'll be out of here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, were you getting like, were they just like yelling at you like crazy? How many tries was that?
I think like 4.
4. So you like did it a couple times,
like,
and then
3 or 4.
Then a lady came out.
Well, as apartment manager, she was like up in the apartment complex in her window to the left, and she was just like, get the hell off my roof. And I was just like, I'll be out here in 2 seconds. Like, and I've always looked at that spot because I live like really close to there. And my friend actually lives like right in the apartment, like right close to where I'd like hit the fence.
So you see it a lot and you're just looking at it like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah. So it's always like,
and then today was the day.
Yeah, it was that one. Well, I mean, I was walking with my buddies at nighttime one time and just kind of having a couple drinks, and we stumbled across that, and I was like, I've always wanted to do this. Let's try it. And so I got it that night, and then went back and filmed it with the homie.
Oh, you did it just for funsies?
Yeah, just when I was having drinks.
That is fucking crazy.
I just always wanted to do it, but I never had the balls. But finally, I was just like, you know what, let's do it. Like,
so you did it with a couple of drinks in you, and you were like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, as I came back, I was like, okay, let's try this again with the camera.
So what is this? Because for people who aren't looking at it, it's like a triangle roof that comes to a point, but then at the point there's this big, what looks like is that like a telephone pole, but that's cut off. So it's like the size of a telephone pole coming out of the point of the roof. And it's what, like 3 feet tall, 2 or 3 feet tall,
2.5 feet or so,
2.5 feet tall. And that's what he's doing the nose blunt yanking off of, and then landing on the roof, and then dropping off the roof over a little fence. What is that? What is that that's poking up out of that roof?
It just looks like exactly what you described. It was looked like just a log jutting out of it, and that was like. Just looked really odd and obscure, and I was just like, that looks cool. Like, I want to mess around on that. And that roof is like, I don't know, it looks kind of steep in the footage, but it was pretty mellow. But yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that coming out of a roof before. So why not skate it, right?
Yeah. I always had eager eyes passing by it for years and years and years.
Oh, man. How fun was that? Was that like a ollie into a... Is that switch? No, that was just regular, right?
Yeah, just regular.
Where is that?
Love Park.
That's what I thought.
The Love Fountain.
That's what I thought. So he ollies into the Love Fountain while it's full of water. That's crazy.
Thank you. That was a good times with the buddies.
Oh man. Okay, so the next trick I wanted to talk about was right here. So he's that's the glory hole, right?
No, that's I think I want to say in Arizona. Just some like random like tunnels that just have transition all over them, and we just kind of like lit it up and found this one little spot where you can do a stall. I almost killed everybody. That's what I wanted to ask. Did anybody actually get hit? No, like if my buddy didn't duck, like that board would have chopped his head off. So let's check it out. So I'll set it up. You're in like a full pipe that's probably what, like 7 feet tall, 7-8 feet maybe. Yeah, I'd say about 7, maybe 6 and a half, 6 to 8 feet full pipe. Yeah, and there's like a little section cut out that he does blunt fakie on. Yeah. But then there's like a cutaway where he looks like he tried one and slipped out, shot his board behind him, but since it's a full pipe, it went up and around
and then the filmer who had the light on like pulls the camera up, and it's crazy because you can't see him until the light hits him, but there's like 8 people standing in the darkness that almost get like decapitated by this board that's whipping around the full pipe. All right, so here we go. We'll watch. He goes blunt fakie there, and then
sorry, dude.
Whoa, that's like.
Yeah, everybody stood far back after that one. I felt bad.
Oh, I would too. That's nar.
Yeah, I was really.
But nobody got. It was. You came out unscathed.
No, everybody kind of did the jump and duck. Just kind of tried to stay in the middle of it.
All right, so the next trick that I wanted to talk about here. Oh, well, we could watch this one real quick. Is that switch hard flip into the roof, into like a roof.
Yeah.
Down bank. We got a gap to Manny to crazy drop. So here's the one I wanted to talk about. The playground. So you got a few tricks. You got a few tricks on a playground. Let's watch it real quick. So it's like you just like 50 the handrail on a little like 3-step inside of an actual playground.
Yeah.
Now, how does that happen?
Honestly,
do you find the playground and then figure out how to skate it, or do you say I want this? Go find a playground that has a 3-stair with a handrail.
Honestly, it was there's a spot right outside that spot, and whenever I see a playground, just after filming Pathways, it was just like, you know, my mind was opened up to like so much more skateboarding thanks to my filmer Brett, and like he's just like he sees things differently, and like, you know, just kind of opened my mind and perspective. So, and then whenever I go and look at things, I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna look at like playgrounds, like for sure, like, and just whatever looks, you know, like it's got some skateboarding potential. Walk over and check it out, and like he'd go around on his bike and like just for hours on hours and weeks, like go around and like take photos of spots, and like it was just like an adamant, like really passionate skateboarder, and like kept doing that, and I was just like, wow, like that's rad. And so yeah, naturally, like we were skating that spot next to this spot, and so I went over to the fence to check out the playground, and then found that rail and was all like, okay, this, like joking around with it, like I was like, let's try and grind this thing. But yeah, it ended up working out. That's actually my personal favorite clip in my part.
It looked really cool because it's like a miniature spot.
Yeah,
but I mean, like literally, like everything looks super mini, so it looks extra hard to skate.
Yeah, and the wood was going the opposite way, so you can hear in the clip. It's like, bup, like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too. Is do you put on softer wheels for that?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't have it on that. That was another, just like we're skating this spot, and I jumped over and looked at another, and
that's even crazier to me, to be able to skate those kinds of terrain on the same setup that you skate every other terrain.
Yeah,
that is insane.
It's just when opportunity, you know, arises, I guess, like jump at it.
So you're just like super light on your feet. You're like incredibly light on your feet.
I try to be.
I mean, you have to be, and precise. And what I mean is, like in this next clip that we're going to watch right here, it's a very, very small pathway that you're riding on, doing some what some people would call dangerous maneuvers. I mean, some risky behavior on very small areas.
Yeah.
So let's watch this real quick. You're like riding on again, like another piece of full pipe, but it's made out of metal, and it's like maybe 2 feet wide. Like barely the width of a skateboard wide, and you're pumping back and forth on it, and then you actually like ollie out of it and wall ride some like crates. I don't even know. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like a shipping yard. I don't know. Like, what is that? And where? Well, you don't have to tell me exactly where, but
it's just you know, this one like island that has all this industrial spots and stuff. I'm sure everybody knows which island it is, but you know, just keep the spots gotten hotter and hotter over the years. But yeah, it's always got potential, and things are always moving around, and I'd like to go and check in, and that thing was there, and just like, I don't know, I always appreciate like aesthetics as well as like, you know, just like the like, can you skate that? Like, it's like, well, obviously like, it's possible, but like, you know, if you don't skate it now, like it could be moved around another day. So it's like, get it right now or hope it's there next week. So
man, so it's almost like a insight into how like surfers think, because surfers always talk about, you know, you'll never ride the same wave twice in your entire life. You'll never ever do that. It's always changing. So if you don't catch that one, You're not going to catch that one ever again.
Yeah, no, definitely true.
So it kind of gives you a more of a like go get it mentality.
Yeah.
You know, like a fucking I'm going to do it.
Because then you'll just beat yourself up later for it. You're like, I could have skated that, or something could have happened, and now it's gone. It's like like a really good DIY.
So is it also kind of like skating the back of somebody's truck?
Oh, that's always fun.
So this is one of my more favorite clips right here. Sorry, back it up. Watch that again. Because you're just skating the back of like a gravel truck.
It's on the side of a street in Berkeley. It was like pretty dark and like, nobody's really paying attention. We just kind of ducked down when the street got like emptied out and there wasn't a whole lot of cars. We'd jump up and get some shots in and then duck underneath the full pipe or like inside of it. So
were people coming out trying to like, did you get any kind of heat on that at all?
Nah, we got in there and got out and, got lucky, I guess. There's always that chance where like, you're skating and a cop just happens to make a left turn onto the road and you don't see it. But for the most part, if anybody sees it, they're probably like just going to keep going with their day because it's the end of the day and everybody's just getting off work. And
yeah, I mean, even if the truck driver came out, I'd probably just be like, hey, what are you doing? And when he figures out you're just skating.
Yeah, I mean, people like throw blocks of concrete into those kinds of trucks,
yeah,
so it's like
you ain't
no
gonna hurt
deal.
it. Yeah, trust me, you ain't gonna hurt it.
Yeah.
The very next trick is crazy. So you're riding along a small pathway, and you like ollie 180 kind of disaster, like off the ledge onto a roof, and the roof looks like it is. Well, let's watch real quick. So you're riding along this pathway, ollie 180, disaster onto the top of a roof, and then you like drop in and then ride down the roof. But the roof looks like it's made out of like chain link with those like plastic slats, through it.
Yeah, that roof
is that what it?
I'm not sure what it was made of. I think it was just really, really, really old. I don't know, roofing tile or whatever, but it like definitely got mushy and like my wheel like smashed through the roof at one point and put a hole in it. So the roof kept like kind of like deteriorating as I like skated it. And I was just kind of like, all right, I got to get it soon or I'm going to end up like falling through this thing. And then, my just got one good one and like my wheel didn't get stuck that time. And I kind of like did like the nollie, like hop, like tried to like push past it on the last try and it worked. So grateful.
How stoked were you when you didn't have to try that anymore?
Really stoked. Really stoked. I kind of felt bad, because I kind of like broke the spot in a way. Like, but
still,
it's skateboarding.
You got to worry about yourself too, though. I mean, because every try, I'd be like, man, all right, is this the try I'm going to go through the roof?
Not right. I think I had medical insurance back then, though.
Oh, so you're like, fuck it, I don't care.
Good to go.
All right, so I think we're approaching my favorite trick of the part. It's cool. We'll drop off 50-50 on right here. Okay, so let's back it up before we play this. This is my personal favorite trick. Danger wise, I mean risk factor wise, I should say.
Yeah.
Because you like drop in. I don't know how wide was that area that you were on. Like not very wide.
Well, it was different boards of wood. We had.
You put wood up there.
Yeah, we got really lucky. The guys that lived there at the time ended up like having wood in their backyard, and we were stoked. We actually like my buddy knew about this spot before, and he had a friend who lived there, and he's always all like, "Oh, that'd be rad if like this ever happened." And my buddy was telling me about it. He's like, "Oh, I think you could be able to do this. I'll take you to it." And I was just like, "All right, cool." So we went over there, and then his buddy didn't live there anymore. So we're like, maybe if we just knock on the door and just like, "Hey, can we skate your house?" Like, so they were just kind of like, well, what's the harm? Like, just ask. So we went up and they're like, hell yeah, absolutely. Like, come on over. Like, and then we like went on the other side of the fence and then we're like, oh, you're going to need some wood. So my buddy had a little bit of wood in his car that he always kind of carries around. We put that on it and then they had some extra wood. So we just kind of put it all together and went for it. And the people in the yard were actually super cool about it. Those guys were just like artists too, and they were just like, yeah, we're having a show later tonight at our house, come on by. Like, so it was super like raddest situation turn out possible. Like, not only were they like, yeah, you could skate our house, but they welcomed it and then welcomed us later. So it was a cool experience.
All right, let's watch it real quick. So Oh, geez. Okay, so for people who aren't watching, it's like the side roof of their house, and there's this wicked chain link fence running along the face of the house that has, no top bar, but like the spiky tops. Right, I guess that's the best way I could describe it. Right, like the spiky, non-reinforced tops that would just stick right in and scour you.
Yeah.
And so you drop into this little roof, and the flat bottom's only probably about maybe 3 or 4 feet long, and then you have to go over the fence, and the fence it's probably about 1.5 ish that you have to pop over the portion that
kind of a long time ago. I think I was like 4 years ago. There was I think a little bent part of the fence that made it just like a hairpin less scary.
But still, that's gnarly. And then you did 180, right? Yeah. 180 melon. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, 180 melon over it. So that was just one of my personal favorites because the whole danger factor there just looked so extra gnarly.
Thank you.
And especially now knowing the story behind it, it's even more my favorite because you straight knocked on the door. Hey, can we skate your house, bro? Yeah, dude. You need some wood?
Yeah, I know, right? How badass. I was stoked on them.
In fact, I'm going to have Heath Sherritt. I don't know if you know him. He's coming on here in a couple of weeks. And we had an experience like that where he was actually trying to nose slide somebody's front porch. They had this runway, and then it was like a 10 stair that kind of curved around. So he had a curved hubba.
Sick.
It was so perfect. And so he was trying to nose slide it. And 3 or 4 tries in, the guy comes walking up that lives there.
Oh, no.
Starts yelling at us. He's going to call the cops. And we're being super respectful about it. And it's like, dude, I'll pay you for the paint that I'm damaging. And the guy instantly turned around and was like, what? You'll pay me? He's like, yeah, dude, I'll pay you to fix the paint. And he's like, all right. Took the money and went inside. I was like, have fun. Oh. Instantly turned around, yelling in our faces that he was going to call the cops. And Heath was pulled out his wallet and was like, dude, I'll give you $10. And he was like,
that's badass.
Boom. And went inside. Was like, hey, have fun.
We're all human.
And then he landed it 2 tries later. Just beautiful.
Sick. The guy's all like, I'm not even going to paint it. It looks fine.
Yeah. And it was. He didn't do any damage to it at all. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's killer. That's
all right. So awesome. Next spot I was looking at. That's a cool little
Rest
trick.
In peace.
This spot right here. So it's just a mountainside with a bunch of concrete, bunch of concrete blocks, an area. What is that? I've seen it before.
Yeah.
What? I've never been there though. What?
I actually just went there not that long ago. Me and my lady just got back from LA, and it's called Sunken City. It's just I think it's a hotel that went into the water or something, but that's the remains of it. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's a really cool spot. It's got a lot of aesthetically pleasing aspects to it. My lady shoots photography too, so I was just win-win situation. I bring her here, I can skate this stuff, and we can both have a good time. So yeah, I've always liked to go out that spot. It's in San Pedro, California, and yeah, if you ever get a moment, even if you don't skate, it's a pretty cool spot to just go by and check out. And they also have a spot right where you jump over the fence, where there's some ledges and some weird banks that you can skate. So cool spot. Check it out.
Yeah, because I've seen it before. It's several times and just been looking at it what is that? But I don't think I've ever known anybody personally that I've seen, so I could ask them
yeah,
where is that, bro? What?
San Pedro, California.
So cool.
Go get it.
All right. The next trick is right here. To me, this is one of the most visually appealing spots. It looks so cool to me. And as a photographer looking at that, just
yeah.
Oh. So just so for people who don't see it, it's okay. So how tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". So
it's probably 5'6" in this clip.
So this it's this big big circle cut out in a wall, and it's only probably about 1.5 feet wide, concrete. And it's a big full circle, and it's 20 feet tall.
Yeah, it's pretty
20
up there.
20 feet tall. And what did you do on it here? Was that 180 or
just a melon grab?
Yeah,
frontside melon.
Yeah, frontside melon. There we go. Frontside melon on it. Man, dude. Oh, Where is that?
That is somewhere in Florida, I think close to Miami.
In Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, getting Florida clips in here.
Yeah. That was actually from a tour back in 2010, I believe. And it's called Outside the Lines. And basically, Metro Skate Shop at the time, there was a documentary on YouTube called YouTube's Next Step. And they had 25 people got $35,000 toward their documentary entry if they'd won. And we got lucky. We made our video edit and we won. And we, made our dream trip across the country, 40 days and back. And, just skated everything we could. We met up with a bunch of skate shops and stuff, did interviews. So still in the process of being, made and video and edited. Like nobody really has the time to edit 800 hours of footage.
Right.
So, but still, I think it's definitely in the works at some point. But yeah, this spot was just on the way. We were actually going to go pick up our photographer homie, Darren, and he went to go meet up with his friend out in another part of town. And we were just on our way to pick him up. And we just saw that in the freeway. And I was just like, guys, please tell me we're not going to pass this. Please, can we pull over? This spot just looks way too rad. And if we can get in there, come on, we got to check it out. I mean, it was literally illuminating in the night.
Just driving down the freeway looking at it.
Absolutely. That's how it was when we passed by it. And then I was like, guys, please tell me we're going to stop at that spot,
Pull
right?
on his shirt. Dude,
Dude
stop the van.
Yeah, no, really, though. That was me. That was definitely me. I was young and probably loud and saying all that stuff, too. But, yeah, so we all agreed, all right, let's pull over. And we got it. But, yeah, there's one little thing on that thing that sketched me out. There's, a little piece of rubber. You can actually see it in the footage that every time you go by, right down by my right leg at the very bottom. Oh, wait. No. Maybe play the clip a little bit.
Back it up here.
Yeah, here it is. Right on the left of that beam at the very bottom. There's a little piece of rubber that sticks up out of that spot. So every time you ride, you got to avoid it. It was a small piece of rubber, but still, it was there.
Yeah.
So,
and when you're coming down, when you're riding away from the frontside melon on that little tiny strip, you don't have a lot of room to,
I was just praying that I could be light-footed and run over it or, not hit it. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have to be light-footed.
Well, it looks like you got it.
Yeah.
Looks like it worked out for you.
Florida was cool. Florida was not cool. Florida was hot as hell.
Yeah, I was going to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I went to Florida recently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'll never go back.
No, Florida's cool, but
no, it's not. Sorry, anybody who's listening in Florida, but Florida sucks. I'm just throwing it out there. That's my personal opinion. You can hate me if you want, but I think Florida is a terrible place.
It's just too hot, man.
It's too hot.
And they got cicadas.
Nobody should live there. Just let the gators have it. You know what I mean? Just let the swamp take it over.
Yeah, crocodile territory.
Yeah, oh God. I did some work out there. I filmed a wedding in Florida, and I've never sweat more in my life. I mean, it was I had water spigots just coming out of me, just sweat everywhere, dude. I mean, it was insane. It was not fun. I'll tell you that. It was not fun.
I hope it was an indirect light. That'd be horrible.
No, actually, crazy. It was storming. It was the couple of days before the wedding, it was raining and muggy. And then on the day of, it was sunny in the morning. And then right after the ceremony ended, it just started monsooning. But it was still 90 degrees with 80% humidity. It's hot as hell, but it's raining outside.
Did you run with all your equipment?
Oh yeah.
Flash storms out in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a sprinkler. You turn it off and on. It's just
yeah, but then it was 15 minutes later. It was gone.
Yeah, 15 minutes, and then everything dries up in 30. And you're just okay.
Yeah, crazy.
Session cut short for a second.
It's not natural.
Yeah.
Nobody should live there.
Crocodile tit.
All right, so the next trick I wanted to talk about is at the Glory Hole. It's your big wall ride. Out. Frontside wall ride out of the Glory Hole. Now, my question is, that was such a huge trick, and that's NBD, right? Has anybody ever done that before?
I think somebody's done it before for sure. I know people.
Well, it was huge. Regardless, it was huge. How come there were so many other angles of that? Because I've seen other angles. I know that there was a straight on angle.
Yeah. There was a session that day, so everybody was just kind of jamming out to go skate the Glory Hole. It's just kind of everyone cruise up and then just goes out, and then everyone just puts in work to clear out the glory hole and make sure they can skate it as far back as they want. Some people go all the way back. I know the N-Men do, and those dudes are badass for it. And they get some killer sessions in there. But yeah, we definitely had a session that day. So everybody kind of like pulled out their phone or whatever. And I was just like destroying my body.
No, there were a bunch of people like posted that before the video came out, right?
Yeah.
And were you cool with that?
I mean, whatever.
Can't really control it.
I mean, not going to be like a footage Nazi, but you know.
Come on, bro.
It'll go in there, like, you know, people have phone angles or whatever, and they're not going to have like the angle that my buddy filmed. So it's like,
it was a good angle.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not tripping off it personally too much. I know a lot of people do, but it's like, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to go harass somebody for it and be like, oh, you suck. Maybe I just don't do that.
Well, especially this day and age where everybody's got a camera in their pocket. You can't really control.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, it's just on my Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. No worries.
So this next trick is on like a metal quarter pipe. Looks like a big film strip. Looks like a big metal film strip.
Yeah.
It's huge, but it's all wet.
Yeah.
And you just kept skating it wet?
Yeah. I actually split my eye open really bad. I still got a scar to this day.
That was my question is, did you fuck yourself up on that?
Real good. Like I tried to do like a back nose pick revert and like didn't even get into the back nose pick. And then when I went around for the second time, I just like slammed my face on like solid steel like strip. And it was just instantly started like gushing blood down my face. And I was, I think it was the first time like I'd just been skating with Richie Jackson through my buddy Brett, who went on that Outside the Lines, the tour with us. And Richie just happened to be hanging out with him. And I was just like, he's like, oh yeah, we all want to see you skate that film strip. And I was just like, damn.
Oh yeah, if he said it.
And I was like a little bit younger and I was all like, damn, dude, this is Richie Jackson. I've always appreciated that guy's like mind and style and just everything that he's done for skateboarding. So, and he's just witty as hell. Dude's hilarious.
And mustaches.
Oh yeah, no, he's got the best stash in the business. Can't deny that.
All right. So then the next trick I wanted to ask you about was, I'm just gonna let it play. See, yeah, it's coming up right here. This one, right here. So, how does it feel to belong to a very, very small club of people who do backflips on skateboards?
I don't feel like I'm completely in that club.
That was a backflip, and you rode away because you landed all four wheels.
I love the way Sluggo does his stuff. That guy lofts him up really good. But yeah, no,
he's been doing backflips since like '92. So.
Yeah. Take off my hat to that guy if I was wearing one. But yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, I learned it at my home park, and I was actually just trying Miller flips when I was a kid, and then I like missed my hand one time, and just like, oh, that's kind of like a backflip. So I started like trying to spin it like really sharply to the left, like an inverted 3, and then finally got the courage to go upside down, and it worked out. And I've always like skating like tight training spots thanks to my home park as well, because they have at Walnut Creek Skate Park, they have like these tight concrete like corners that are like super quick. So I've always been a fan of like trying to like skate like weird, obscure transitions. And my buddy brought me to this spot, and you know, it was really cool. It was a really good spot, and definitely appreciate him for bringing me there and getting me the clip and everything. He's the fucking man.
You're talking about
Brett Nichols.
Brett Nichols.
Yeah,
because he filmed this part and the next part we're going to take a look at.
Yeah,
is he like 100% your filmer? He's the man.
I just love skating with the dude. Like, he's always opened my mind and perspective to skateboarding since I met him, and we've always just kind of had that shared obsession for skateboarding, and like we're always just like, oh, let's figure this out and let's do this, and like, you know, it's just like I just love like whatever he's doing. Like, he was making pathways, and we started getting clips for it, and like some clips would just be like, you know, super simplistic. Like, here, I want you to just do a tail scrape over like these like reverse tire like puncture, like, you know, those spikes that are on the concrete. And so he's like, just do a little scrape over that one. So it'd be like, you know, we're not going out, we're not like getting super serious on some things, but we are in the same. And you know, he's got a vision, and he's got like this art to his filming. So it's just like, it's rad to be a part of, and it's fun to be a part of. It puts the fun back in skateboarding more so than trying to go out and like, you're like, all right, man, like, you know, this is, you gotta got to film the ender of your part. Like, you got to figure something out. And then you're just like stressed over it. And you're just like, man. But, you know, going out with him, it's like, maybe we'll get something crazier. Maybe we can do some weird little things here. But whenever we go out, we'll film something. You get this like slight feeling of accomplishment. Like, yeah, I did something today. And like, you know, then you see the finished product and Brett's brilliant. Like, you know, you like Pathways. Like, if you guys ever get a moment, definitely check out Pathways. That video is creative beyond belief.
We're going to take a look into your part on that for sure right after. I got a couple more questions for you, and then we're going to jump right into Pathways, because that's an amazing part.
Thank you.
Amazing video. I mean, the whole thing as a whole is beautiful. But,
yeah, he's got a lot of other like really good videos too. He's always putting out like substantial work, so I'm stoked on him. So
the next trick I wanted to ask, there's like a couple tricks left in your Thrasher part here. Is this one right here? You kind of like a little like hand plant off of a roof onto the roof of like a little portable shed. So you seem to like to drop onto a lot of roof to roof kind of things.
Yeah.
So my question is on something like this. Okay, so we're looking without really knowing the story. I'm just looking at it. It's probably like it's not a huge drop from the other roof onto the shed roof.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 4 or 5 feet. Decent drop, but not like crazy huge.
Yeah.
On something like this, how do you test for durability of the roof that you're dropping onto? Like, how do you test to make sure that you're not going to just like put your foot through it the first time you actually try it?
Seemed like it was good.
Well, I mean, how? Like, how do you...
I mean, I just was walking around on it.
And like you jump on it a couple times?
I just figured if I land like halfway on like the very peak where it's like at its strongest, and then like, you know, kind of deck your wheels a little bit, then you kind of like give it an equal amount of pressure to where you're not going to like cave the whole roof in. I feel like those sheds are pretty sturdy. Like, you always see them kind of around like, you know, Home Depot or whatever. But yeah, it was just the only thing that concerned me about that spot was just like the slickness at the top of them. So I didn't want to like slide out and like go tumbling around, but it ended up working out.
All right. So, I mean, I was just curious if you were like, first try, just fucking, I'm going to go for it and see what happens. Or if you were like...
Oh, I rolled up to it, like, and like kept like looking like shit. But no, it worked out. And then the curb smack after, like, I don't think anybody really knows, but like, I actually aimed for that curb and like try to get a little hit in there, but we got cut short to where we can get like a really good one. Cops came and was all like, we heard you're jumping off of like roofs and stuff, and what's up? What are you doing? If my partner's here, he'd rip you a new one. Like, he'd tear you up. Like, I'm just going to tell you guys to get out of here, but you're lucky. And, you know, I wouldn't recommend coming back here. And
yeah, whatever.
And then shortly after that, I moved like very close to the area. So I'll be back.
Don't worry. I'll wait a couple days.
Not to that spot particularly. There's other spots in the area, but yeah.
All right. So here we're at your ender of this part, and it's, you do like a little like boneless kind of drop off, right? Bean plant,
I guess,
whatever you'd call it, onto this crazy downhill, and then it's like a hill, the height of a roof that you drop off. So you have to ride down. How do I explain that? You like ride down a good like a driveway's portion of steep, crazy downhill, and then you drop off of a roof height drop.
Yeah.
It's the best way to explain it. I don't know.
That was one of those.
You have to look at it. It's like an impossible spot to explain.
That was kind of one of those scenarios that was like, all right, we're here in LA, like, let's figure out like an ender for you. And I was just like, I've always remembered seeing this every time I go to LA. Just kind of pass by and I'd see this like giant mound.
Is that off of Sunset?
I think it might be, actually. I think
my buddy used to live down there in LA, and when I first watched this part, I looked at it and I said, I think I know that spot. I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah, it's probably in the Bay somewhere.
Is there a burrito spot? Like,
yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's right off of Sunset. Because I remember I've seen that spot, and I remember looking at that hill like, oh, it'd be crazy to like do a trick into it. I never thought about jumping off the fence, but that's cool. That's the same spot. It is the same spot. I think it had different graffiti on it.
Yeah, the last time, I feel like it switched up for sure.
But it looked very familiar. Like, that's really cool. You just kind of drove by it, saw it.
Yeah, I mean, we drove by it and we're like, well, what about that one? Because I'd always been talking about it whenever else we went to LA. And I was like, all right, we'll try to figure out how to get down it. And then we kind of started climbing up it, and it was like a slick painted like kind of type deal. So kind of swept up all the route, and then just kind of made our way around it. I was like, dropping in from the top would be cool, but I'd kind of want to like do something else besides just drop in and start rolling down it. So I figured the fence was like bent enough to where I could stand on top of it and then do a beam plane off. And then, yeah, found my route down it and got lucky. I think I like stuck on it twice where I thought I had it, and I just like exploded into the floor, but nah, ended up getting out alive. It was tight.
Yeah, it was like a snowboard line. You had to like find a snowboard line and then drop off a cliff.
Yeah, it was just like it was like a lumpy top. So, but
sketchy.
Worked out.
Sketchy.
I got my clip.
Oh, sketchy. So how did that part end up on Thrasher? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, just like people that like support me. There's Metro had always had my back and stuff, and then probably just other sponsors at the time. Like I was riding with Organica, and like Carl knows everybody too, and so I don't know, people probably just were like, okay, like he's been skating for years and years and years now, and I think somebody pushed it through and like threw it out there to one of the guys at Thrasher, and they were like, yeah, for sure. So it was hype. I was really grateful for it, for sure. I've always been wanted to be on Thrasher at some point,
Well, yeah, that's if you skate, you're gonna love to see yourself on Thrasher. Was that part for a specific company or just for you?
That was
because I didn't see any logos or anything in it.
Yeah, that was just for me. Like, I mean, we of course like my sponsors would repost it and like do what they would like to, but I didn't really have like a particular thing at the time. I think I was just kind of cruising around. And then I was just finishing up this part that we're about to watch, and yeah, it all just came in together at the same time.
See, to me, that's super respectable to just put the part out for yourself. That's super cool because you don't see that a lot these days. I mean, there aren't a lot of people who are just like, I just skate for me.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to sponsor me, cool. If somebody wants to put me on Thrasher, cool. But I just made this for me. And if you want to put it on Thrasher, cool. To me, that's like fucking kudos, bro.
Thank you.
Like much kudos on that. So my next question would be is what advice would you have for somebody like yourself who is making a part, but does like really wants to get it on Thrasher? I mean, do you feel like you kind of lucked out just by right place, right time, knowing the right people at the right time? Or is there something that you could like tell somebody that's like, hey, I've got this really good part and I want to get it on Thrasher, but I don't know how to get exposure?
Honestly, be humble, rip it. Like, Thrasher's clearly in San Francisco, all the San Francisco spots. If like you want to like, turn some heads, like, yeah, go do something really ridiculous down Clipper, go skate, Wallenberg, go do something crazy at him, somewhere along the EMB Pier 7, do something outside the box. And, if you're dedicated and you want to do that, yeah, like that's probably a good way of going about it. But yeah, definitely helps to be like, humble about it, be nice to people, be good to people.
It's definitely about who you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's who you know. It's
Well, and what I mean by that is, if you are nice to everybody, you never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is about who you know and how you treat them, because you could talk to somebody who knows somebody. Yeah, they're like, dude, I met that guy and he shredded and he was super cool. He was like the raddest dude, and we like chilled, and he was like really friendly to me. And now he's talking to his buddy who owns a company, who happens to be, I don't know, Carl Watson. Carl's like, oh, well, let me meet him. And then boom, just by that one interaction of some random person who has no effect on you or influence at all, you think you're nice to that person, and then all of a sudden, he's best friends with Carl Watson, and all of a sudden you're on Organica.
Yeah.
Whoa, how'd that happen?
It's a small world, man.
Yeah, just being humble.
Especially
and nice,
in, California, where skateboarding is completely centralized. Like,
yeah.
It's
especially in San Fran.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco and Los Angeles.
So many skaters there, but it seems like if you like skate anywhere in the Bay Area, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's skated with everybody at some point or another and knows everybody.
You've always been at one park at one time, a
Yeah.
new park opens up and people are like, oh, cool, let's go check out like the Dish over at like, Hilltop. and then everybody like, you know, connects and re-meets out there. It's a pretty big family. It's cool.
So you mentioned some sponsors. I know that you have a pretty fair list. Let's go over that. How give it to me. Who you riding for these days? Water break.
Take 5. All right. I'm riding with, well, I've always kind of considered Metro a sponsor in a way. Like they've always been like my skate shop sponsor, so I'll never like not name them because I always.
Well, yeah, because they don't really sponsor people anymore necessarily, do they? They're more of like they're more of like a media.
No, we're just like a family.
They've become like a whole different animal.
Yeah, it's totally.
They probably didn't even see it coming.
Yeah,
it's like whoa.
Nobody really saw that coming at all. It's just like, you know, Joel was doing well at what he was doing, and then he like, you know, just perpetuated Metro to a whole nother level, and like, you know, I'm stoked for him. Like
it's a household brand now.
I know, like everybody's like, you know, #Metrogram.
Yeah,
like
if
it's
you
crazy.
Skate, you know who Metro is. Like you at least have heard about Metrogrammed or Metro or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, it is a trip, and Joel, like, you know, trips Joel a ton of time. But yeah, it's
props
really
to
cool.
him, by the way. Props to you, Joel.
Yeah, Joel. That's the buddy. But yeah, no.
Okay, so Metro, and then who else?
Metro, Skate Crime Skateboards. Those are good homies of mine. They're like a total family. Like we're always skating together and like going out. So take my hat off to them in a big way for sure. S-Flow and Roughneck Hardware, Black Gold Grip.
Bay Life.
Yeah, I like to support the local companies. Like, you know, Black Gold Grip's like been like my homies, as well as Roughneck, that kind of tie along with the same people. Yeah. And then
well, it's like owned by the same dude, isn't it?
It's like Gary Rogers and Johnny Roughneck for Black Gold. So yeah, so Gary's always been the homie. Like growing up, like he'd go to Metro Skate Shop and we'd skate the ramp in the back, and he was always comedic as hell. So
Gary's funny.
Yeah, no, Gary's only gotten funnier. I love that dude. But and then Murd Crew Clothing. It's like another homies of Roughneck that I support. My homie Ty, he's like always like kind of like just, he's always trying to get people together to skate too. So I always love that family feel on the team where somebody's like, cool, like you're on, like here's product, and then you're like, cool, I just want to skateboard. Like, what's up? Let's go skateboard. Yeah. So whenever like people or sponsors get involved and, you know, make sure that people are skating together and getting connected, and like, you know, that perpetuates people's skateboarding as well.
Well, yeah, a good team manager is going to build his team not just on talent, but availability and connectability between the riders. Because I mean, like when I was running a team, I wasn't going to bring two people on that didn't get along.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not going to be. I mean, we're skating together every day. Like,
yeah.
If you guys don't get along, like fucking one of you guys got to go.
Yeah, they can't be bad blood at all. That never goes well ever.
No, especially when we're all trying. We all need to be pushing each other to be better.
Yeah.
So if there's any animosity or unfriendliness, the competition is going to go, I'm going to put this guy down versus I'm going to bring us both up.
Yeah.
So it really, you know, it's good that you recognize that.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to go over, before we get into the next part, because this kind of segues into it, I wanted to go over like your setup, like what kind of board, trucks, wheels, tight, loose, like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Ace trucks.
Oh yeah. Ace. Yeah. You ride for Ace.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just like trying to always like think like everybody at once. But yeah. You
got too many.
Yeah. Nah.
You need to get a juice.
I like what I got.
You need to get like a juice company on there now.
Yeah, no, Ace Trucks definitely is like always helped me out in a big way. I love those dudes. I used to like skate one of the dudes' mom's driveway like when I was a kid. Like kind of grew up in my neighborhood, and I never really knew it. I just knew my twin brother came home one time and was like, oh, there's this rad dude that said he skates and he was working on his motorcycle. And he's talking about my buddy Steve, and me and my twin brother would always go to his house and skate his log right in like his driveway. And we'd just do like board sides and stuff on a wooden log and just like ride into his gravel, which would spew all over his driveway. And I'd always wondered for years why I never got kicked out, but now it makes sense. But yeah, props to those dudes for sure.
Right on. All right, so let's go over, like, I wanted to know like specifics, like what size board you ride.
Size board, I kind of fluctuate between 825 and 838. I rarely ride 8.5s or at 8.0.
Does it depend on what you're skating, or just it depends on the board shape or whatever they send you? Or
I just kind of like to, well, sometimes it's like what's available, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes we'll have a bunch of 8.25s, like, you know, or 8.38s, and then those will all go. And then you're just like, okay, well, now we have an 8.38 left and an a couple 8.25s. So then I'll end up riding like, you know, a couple 8.25s. No big deal. I don't mind. It's like, I like both shapes anyways. Like, I never really noticed the difference.
That's cool. Well, yeah, there's not a huge difference between those two sizes. I mean,
yeah.
They're pretty close. What about trucks? What size aces you ride?
44s.
44s.
Yeah.
What about wheels?
Wheels? That always is one of those things. 56 to 58.
Do you have a wheel sponsor?
Nah.
No? Are you looking for one?
Let me know. I mean, I'm not really adamantly looking, you know what I mean? I'm not like trying to like send people stuff.
But you're open. You're open to if somebody wants, if somebody wants to send something my way, I'm not gonna.
You know, I just kind of got to go out and skate as much as I can because I'm out in Novato currently, and I was to commute without a car to San Francisco or Berkeley, Oakland, anywhere. It's kind of like a hassle. So, but work's coming back in hopefully later in the month, and then just work toward it, get it going, and go skating as much as possible.
Right on.
My lady helps me get out and skate too, so that's super rad.
That is extremely important. Kudos. By the way,
Thank you, baby.
She's sitting right over there. Well done. My wife is very encouraging to me too. Sometimes she'll tell me to go skate.
Those are the ones,
she's
man.
You're just like too pent up. She's like, why don't you go skate?
Like, you know what? I love you. You're right.
I love you.
That's the best.
That's why I married her.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into, let's run through a couple of tricks in your Transworld part. So if you guys want to check this part out, I highly recommend it.
Think we could take like an intermission?
Oh yeah, you need a break?
Yeah, just stretch my body.
Yeah, dude. All right, you want to take a break? Let's
kill it.
Intermission. We'll be back in. Now we're back. Welcome back. Refreshed?
Oh, I feel great.
Feel refreshed.
Got my coffee. Tastes great. Cheers.
Fantastic. All right, so we are going to go over your Transworld part now, pathways. So this part is incredibly interesting. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the video, if you haven't seen his part, I highly recommend going and looking at it. It's on Transworld's YouTube page or their website, labeled Chris Jatoft Pathways part. Right? Transworld Skateboarding. Okay, so you can go watch. What's the full video? Would just be Pathways.
Pathways
by Brett Nichols as well.
Yep,
he's a G.
He's a genius. That guy is a brilliant mind, and yeah, you can totally see it within Pathways and other videos that he does. And the guy's an amazing skateboarder himself, so just makes it all the more rad to work with him and like be his homie and like see his mind and perspective. So yeah.
I mean, this part is, as a filmer myself, this part was like so crazy incredible. Just with all of the different editing, all the different spots. I mean, how did this concept happen basically? Because you can tell that this is obviously not just a skate video. It's got like a purpose to it, like pathways. Everything in the video has every spot you're skating in the video is pathways.
Yeah,
small little tiny pathways that are almost just to most people unskateable. So how did this concept happen? Like, did you sit down and talk about it beforehand? Do you know how he came up with the idea?
A really long time ago, but I imagine it was just like he's always had like an affinity for aesthetics and just like absolutely just kind of kills it in that regard. Like he understands how like footage should work and stuff. Like his skate video collection is enormous, like very rad. I'm jealous. Like I wish I had it. But yeah, he's got videos from all over the world, and like he's done a lot for skateboarding himself, and like went to East Timor and delivered skateboards to kids, and like is really just like full circle, just passionate, good-hearted, good guy, like fun to work with, be around. Like definitely was one of my favorite actually I think my favorite part I've ever filmed. Like I had the most fun doing it, and you know, it was never stressful. I mean,
well, it looks
time to time.
It looks fun. Definitely, the spots look fun. For sure. That's the best way to describe them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
let's take a look. Let's take a look real quick. So the intro itself is really cool. Super artsy. It's all like black and white, film grain, and just all these just like statues and art. You know, big pieces of art, architecture. Just really cool. Like, it's really, really cool. So Brett, if you're listening, well done, sir. Well done. Like he needs my approval. Like he's like, oh, you know what? Now I think it's a good. Now I think I did a good job. That guy told me I did a good job, so I feel good about it now.
He'll appreciate it. He appreciates it. Absolutely. He definitely worked very, very hard on this video and deserves all the credit in the world. This guy absolutely killed it and made a lot of fun for everyone. So it's definitely.
Well, for sure. Is this the one that you were telling me took like 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, between like filming the Thrasher part and my Transworld part, like I collectively filmed those both in like about 5 years. Yeah. So
how long? So how long? Do you know how long he was working on this video?
5 years.
Because I read yesterday. I read an interview. I looked him up, and I read an interview that he had, and he talked about this video.
Yeah.
And he talked about how it took him like 5 years, and how he spent like, what did he say, tens of hours a month riding his bike looking for spots. That to me is that's beyond like pure skateboarder. That's like beyond. That the dedication that it takes to be that guy is so astounding to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that that he's not a bigger name than he is with that kind of dedication and talent that he has.
Yeah.
I mean, man, he's really good.
He's a very talented individual for sure. And yeah, he's put in hours and hours of, editing. Even like, I went to go skate with him yesterday. Unfortunately, I got food poisoning and, didn't get to skate. We looked at the spot, but, I just couldn't stop throwing up. So
yeah, kind of hard to skate with food poisoning.
4 hours, he spent a bunch of time editing till like 4 in the morning, and then we woke up to go skate around like 11 or 10, and we were both kind of just like sick from that day, but yeah, it was good. It was good. We hung out. It was cool. But yeah, next weekend we're going to go skate. It's gonna work out that time.
Oh yeah, just watch what you eat.
Yeah, I know, right? No more of fresh and ready gas station packaged food.
Oh, bro.
I know. Bro. It's that on the go food.
No, okay. As an older, I'm not gonna say I'm old, but as an older gentleman than yourself, when you're 5 years ago, no problem. When you're like 20, 21, 22, even maybe 23, yeah, dude, you could eat that stuff all day, no problem. Like and skate all day and then drink some and then wake up in the morning and do it again. Have a gas station burrito for breakfast and just power through all day, bro.
The bomb burrito.
The closer you get to 30 and over, you can't do that anymore.
I really try not to ever eat that food, honestly. I really don't. But like, when you're on your way and you're just like, all right, I'm already late to go skate and I don't want to make my buddy wait. So quick, while we're pumping gas, get this horrible crusty sandwich and throw up the rest of the day. It sounds great.
Don't do it.
Go.
Don't do it. If you're out there, if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking about buying that gas station burrito.
No more bomb burritos, no fresh and ready packaged sandwiches. Don't get the egg salad. It's horrible.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We'll stop talking about it. I know you still feel sick over there.
All right. So one trick that I thought was cool here, I wanted to ask about this one. So I'm guessing this is at the police station.
Yeah, San Francisco police station. So
we're going to say that this was you allegedly.
It could have been. I got a lot of doppelgangers, especially in this part.
So it looks like it's like, I don't know, you're riding off of a ledge, you power, kind of like ollie lip slide off of a ledge and then ride down like a little free stair
power slide, lip slide. Yeah.
But then you bomb through all the cop cars.
Yeah.
Was that legit first try?
Yeah, that one was first try. I remember like a cop came walking out of the building and looked at me standing on that ledge with my skateboard, and I just like stood there like a deer in headlights, like I don't know why I'm here, but like I'm here. And he just like kept walking, kept doing his thing, and then that's why I'm all like nerve wracked. Like, all right, you ready? Let's go. And then, yeah, we did it. And then went through the cop cars and got the clip. It was tight.
Take a look. So you go kind of power slide, boom, 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 right off the 3-stair. And then it like montage cuts you guys just like mobbing through like rows and rows of police cars. Oh, it's rad. Man, how did you even fit in there? So that's like another full pipe, but this full pipe's only what, like 3 feet? It's like 3.5 feet. Yeah. And so you're like literally crouched.
Yeah, you can find them at Target. No, literally they're right outside Target.
That's oh man, that's pretty funny. All right, so this brings me to my next question, I guess, conceptually. So we were talking about this a little bit on the break. As a skater, when you are brought to a spot that you think is a spot, but it's not really a spot. It's a couple of rocks or, you know, a big giant art ball.
Yeah.
So if you can walk me through your thought process. For example, we'll play this one real quick. So it's like a big art ball that he rolls off the top, lands, and then does like a little no comply. I don't know what you call it. What do you call those?
No comply beam plant.
Yeah, no comply beam plant over like a little tiny gap down a little drop. But
yeah.
So walk me through a process like that. Like say, you know, Brett brings you to that, just a big ball sitting in the middle of like probably like a roundabout driveway or something.
Yeah. He like kind of has ideas for people. Like you said, like sometimes you go out and you'll see a spot and you're just like, yeah, my buddy could probably get down on this. And then you tell your buddy and you're like, all right, we'll go check it out. And, you know, hopefully things will work out. And that's pretty much how it rolls every time. He'll bring me to a spot. And then,
well, so what I mean specifically, sorry to cut you off, but
no problem,
is, like you said, he sees a spot and says, my buddy could do that. So did he envision you riding off the top? And I mean, did he see that line and then go there and tell you, hey, you should do, you know, X, Y, Z? Or does he say, hey, you could probably do something off that and then maybe go over here? Like, that's what I'm curious. Like specifically, like how does it work? Sometimes
he could be like, I thought like you could maybe do this and then like, you know, we can branch into it. Or sometimes he'll just bring me to a spot and be like, I like the aesthetics of like this gold orb here. And, you know, maybe try and get like a trick where we can get the orb in there and then.
Okay, so I see. So some spots he sees and says, oh, here's a specific trick I see that you could try. And then other times he's just like, I want to get a shot of this.
Yeah.
So can you do anything off that?
And then something like, you know, we'll branch in and like we'll look at spots and we'll be sending each other spots like, oh, dude, look at the spot.
That's
and
cool.
Like, and I'll always be like, is this like pathways worthy? Like, is this like it up your alley? And I, you know, in the beginning, I'd always have to ask and like try to figure it out. And then I kind of got onto the concept. I was like, okay. So yeah, we're always kind of looking for spots. He's definitely got more than I do. I got to break my bike out more.
Yeah, I mean, even as a filmer, I have a hard time with that because my attention span is just, I mean, it's short and it's drawn in so many directions that I had a hard time like forcing myself to like pull over and stop and take a picture of it because I see spots. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then when it comes time to skate, I'm like, ah, fuck, where was that spot again?
Yeah.
I saw this one spot and I think it was like, you know, and you're like, ah, fuck, I failed on that one.
That's why you got to get the iPhone, man. They got the geotag locations.
Fuck your iPhone.
I know, right? No, I honestly used to use Android all the time. And then I was just like, it's just so much easier because everybody says. But yeah, so I support you for sticking to Android.
Oh man, I can't. I'm it's weird. I'm Apple everything except for my phone.
Yeah.
I will not. I can't. That's another.
Good on you.
All right. So there was, man, I remember seeing this one specific trick. I think it was on Instagram where you dropped into like a glass roof.
Oh yeah. I think that was maybe the Berkeley campus.
Let's see. There we go. Sorry. So right here. So it's like a big cylinder building with an all glass roof.
Yeah. Kind of nerve-wracking.
Dude, I mean, I don't even know what to ask about that. It's like, how? You know what I mean? Like you see that and then why would you want to skate that? I mean, obviously it's cool, but
I liked it. I don't know. It looked kind of fun to just kind of try and like roll off and cruise. And, you know, I always passed it when I was in Berkeley. So I was just kind of like, this would be kind of fun. And then, I crawled up onto the glass and like, you know, did the whole like sturdy testing thing. And I was just kind of like thinking in my mind, like, well, I'm not going to do an ollie. I'm not going to do anything that's going to put a lot of pressure. But yeah, I definitely like walked up onto that glass and stood looking down like 3 stories or so. And was just like, don't look down again.
wait, so that, cause that building only looks like it's, you know, regular, you know, roof height, but it
drops down.
It goes down. I've never been there. So
yeah, it's on the Berkeley campus.
But it drops down like that goes down into underneath.
Yeah, it continues.
Wow.
But you know, the glass was really sturdy, and all you were really gonna do on it was roll. And
was it first try? You just one and done.
Yeah, I did it. I'm not sure how many tries it took. I think it was like a couple, if anything. But then we had to film it one more time.
You got up there more than once. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the glass was pretty sturdy, but maybe I was like a little bit younger. I've had trouble breaking boards, so I wasn't too worried. But
a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
that's one time where being a little bit smaller definitely works at your benefit.
Oh yeah,
because if a big hefty dude's like, I'm not getting up there, bro.
Yeah,
he's like puts his hand through the glass, just trying to climb up it.
Yeah, no, I definitely kind of walked along like, you know, the skeleton of it, the structure of it, and then like would like put my foot on and like kind of put some pressure and see how it works.
Listening for any cracking.
That's when I'm like, all right, let's not do this.
All right, so the next trick I wanted to look at, this is like one of my favorite lines in this, not only because of what you do, but because of your filmer. So,
oh yeah.
So you kind of like push and like drop in, roll off one of those like circle bike racks, and then you weave through this intense small little pathway around a bunch of little mini bushes, and then I forget what did you do at the end. Let's watch it here. So you drop off that and then roll around. You're rolling through this little pathway. You make a sharp turn. Yeah, then you go crook on the back of a bench that has like a big gnarly wavy bench.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite lines, just because as a filmer, I'm looking at that like I'm going through my own process when I look at something like that, and it's like there's no way. If my skater told me, all right, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go around and then I'm gonna curve and I'm gonna be like, nah, dude, that's crazy. Let's find another way around that. You know, that's not.
It's actually mostly that was just like the way you filmed it, because like, you know, there's only one way to actually go and carve back around to hit that bench, and you kind of do have to do the wide, you know, to get a little bit of speed, and then sharp carve in, and then, you know, get the trick. So he just knows how to film really well, and like, you know, he had the brush like bouncing off the lens and everything. Like,
yeah, super cool.
Definitely like my favorite filmer. The dude kills it.
Yeah, I mean, he's my new favorite filmer too. Like I haven't really been exposed to too much of that, and I saw this part and was like,
more to come.
Wow.
More to come.
I'm super impressed. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty easy to impress too, though. I like a lot of stuff.
This is pretty easy to watch too.
It's
put a lot of time into it for sure.
In fact, my wife sat and watched with me and was really impressed, not only with the video itself, but your skating too. It was like, man, this guy is really fun to watch. The video.
Thank you.
The video itself is super fun to watch. She's just like, wow, this is really creative. And being my wife, she watches a shitload of skateboarding, and so it's another skate video. You know, just make me watch another skate video. Okay, here's some tricks on some stairs and some ledges, and then she watches this, and she's like super engaged with it, just like.
Rad. That's awesome.
Whoa, this is. And she even said, she's like, even for somebody who doesn't skate, this is like really fun to watch. It's just. Cool. It's interesting, you know, and the music and the editing and the skating all together is just like really fun.
Yeah, he knows how to tie it together for sure.
So she had a question.
Yeah.
She wanted to know something.
Yeah, shoot, for sure.
This is a special wife question here. So we're going to watch this little trick right here. So you're skating some like broken down pieces of concrete. Like, I mean, I don't even know. It's like a bunch of concrete that just got like chipped out of somewhere and then dropped here. A bunch of rocks and stuff. So she wanted to know. She always like I would always show her like the slide marks on my board and be like, look at how precise I am. Like, look, all my crooks, my switch crooks. I got all my lip slides right here, and there's no deviation. In fact, I just set up a new deck, and I was showing her like, I'm like, I got no slide marks up there, all precision. Just joking around. And she goes, I wonder what that guy's board looks like. She goes, I wonder what the marks on his board. I'm like, I wonder how annihilated his board. So she wanted to know how, like, what the slide marks look like on your deck after. You know what I mean? Do your boards
they get chippy, you know what I mean? Like on the undersides and stuff. Sometimes I'll skate some spots where like even like this rock, like where you'll have to like dig your board and deck it on a rock, and then that rock like kind of stabs into your board and you got some weird divots and stuff for sure. But it's always kind of funny to be like, well, where the hell did this mark come from?
Right, especially like for me, I look at mine and they're all in like kind of the same spot, and with a little angle deviation, but that's where it is right there. Yeah, but yours is like, what is this? It's like a big gouge missing here, and like
I always like chip my board. I feel it's very common for me.
So you're just used to skating and just like thrashed.
Yeah, I usually skate my boards down pretty well. But then, there's those times where I'm just like, sometimes I'm not feeling like a board shape or something. I'll just like skate it for a little bit and then switch it out and give it to whoever needs a board.
That happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, I'm not into this, not into it.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to go last couple tricks in your part here. Let's see. Got a question about your ender.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about the big balls.
The big balls? Oh, the big old balls. Those yellow balls. They weren't blue balls.
So, I mean, it definitely took like a big set of balls to get your ender.
You killed me.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and watch this. So for those of you who aren't watching, it literally took a big set of balls to get his ender. There's a big giant ball that he rolls off of and then lands on another giant ball and then drops off and then does it switch, right? So you do it both ways?
Yeah, with my only clean shirt.
So you went both ways with your big balls.
I went both ways, big ball swinging. But yeah, that spot, oh man, that spot was the biggest bust ever. Like every time we got there, it was just like, there was 3 spots immediately in that little like segment right in front of this huge open glass office building where security is clearly just sitting there at the counter, just like, you bastard, here he is again.
Yeah, they see you before you, like as soon as you pull into the parking lot, they're like, oh, there's those fuckers again.
You can actually see in the clip, I think one of them, you can see the security guard walking up, and in one of these clips, might even be, yeah, there he is right there.
Oh, yeah, he's already out of the building.
It's all good, dude. I'm out.
And then, so this was another day?
Yeah, this is another day because he kept talking about it, and I was just like, well, I can always just try to like switch roll off the balls at first, and then see how that feels.
You guys just sitting around talking about the balls?
Yeah, just like, let's do this. Let's switch it up. Like regular foot. All right, switch. But yeah, it was good.
So how'd this video get on Transworld?
Brett probably knew some people, talked to some people, and just
and was
made
this
it happen.
One,
they were hyped.
Was this one for a company, or is this one just his project?
This was Brett's project that he was working on, and I was just like stoked to be a part of it, and I had the most fun skating with it and filming it. And every time we went out, it was just good camaraderie and good times. And
who else was in the video? The full length. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Josh Paz. What was the main other part that we had in it, and then there's a bunch of homies in this segment. It's definitely worth like everybody in the video is killing it and ripping. So, and there's a lot of unique styles too. So it's not just like your standard staple. Like everyone's kind of like got a weird, rad style to skate. Like the kind of stuff that Brett like.
Yeah, everybody skates the unskateable a little differently.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
that video's full of the unskateable.
Yeah, and Brett's even got some clips in there too. And then, there's a list of people. But yeah, props to all those dudes. It was really fun skating with everybody and, kicking back. It's tight.
Right on. So do you, all right, so we're going to switch gears just a little bit. We're almost out of here. Do you do anything else besides skate? Because I know that you're you like came out with a part that was like called 100% skateboarder.
Oh yeah, my buddy Andy Schrock.
But you know, just going over like your social media and your video parts, and just, I mean, I've been familiar with you for several years, because I used to film all the AM jams.
Oh
so I've been familiar with your skating for a very long time. I'm a big fan of Metro. Dylan Bonnell and I were friends, so every once in a while he'll show me some raw clips, and there's been several of those that I've seen of you. So I've seen your skating, but do you do anything else besides skate? Because it does.
I like my harmonica.
Oh yeah, there we go. You play a lot?
Not as much as I'd like to, but you know, it's always easy to like just break out and play.
You any good?
I don't know.
Give us a little something.
Let's see.
Give us a little something.
What is this? My C or my G? I don't know. It's like this is like one of the first songs I learned how to play, but. A little bit of Piano Man.
Hell yeah, dude. That's sick. So you just like break that out in the van, huh? All of a sudden you're just, like, playing.
It's cool until it gets annoying.
Well, I don't know.
You're pretty good. Got a guitar. Thank you.
You're pretty good. So it's like if you're good at it, then it's probably less likely to get annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're like fucking up every note.
Some of my buddies are really good at it that I used to play with, and yeah, no, it's super rad to just kind of branch into it. But I got it. Actually, my buddy was playing a lot, and his dad is a really good harmonica player as well. And my little brother and my whole family actually went to this liquor store down the street, and it was like our local spot. It was one of the closest stores. And the guy is all like, hey, like my like 12, 13-year-old brother, he's like, I got some stuff for you. And he gives him like a Jack Daniels harmonica like promo gift and a Jack Daniels like pair of shades or something. And I like looked at my brother and I was like, you're not going to bring that to school and play that, right? He's like, I don't even care about it. Do you want it? Here, take it. And I was like, yes. So then my buddy's dad traded me one of his harmonicas that was good for that. And then I just got super into it and always carried it on me.
That's sick, dude. That's a cool talent to have. Like,
Thank you.
I've always wanted, I play a little bit of music, but I've always wanted to learn how to play the harmonica. I just don't have the patience for it.
You got it.
I got too much other shit that I'm doing, dude.
Yeah.
So much shit that I don't have time to do that.
Yeah, you got many obligations for sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, a couple kids and whatnot, and a couple companies, and
yeah,
you know,
that'll keep your hands full.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So all right, bro. Almost ready to wrap it up. I just wanted to know, are we gonna see anything new soon?
I do have things in the works for sure. I've been working on another part for Pathways.
Another Pathways?
Like potentially, maybe, there might be. I don't know.
We don't want to spoil too much.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
rumors. It's rumors right now. It's rumors.
I'm working on another part, and that part will hopefully be coming out sooner than later. It all depends on when the video gets finished. But
okay. Is it will it be just you, or is it full length with other people? Do you know?
It'll be another full length, and it'll have other people in it for sure.
Excellent.
And then I've just got done filming a little bit in Southern California with Skate Crime, so we definitely have an edit we're about to put out at some point, and then I'll have a bunch of footage in that. And then, yeah, I've kind of just been sitting on a lot of Instagram clips. You know what I mean? That's
the world we live in.
I know, right? Everybody's got to post and do it once or twice a day, and I'm like just gotten so jaded from it. I'm like, I never signed up for this when I started skateboarding. Like,
yeah, but if you want to be popular,
yeah,
unfortunately, that's the route that's being carved out for our for the future generation of pros. Is that all right? This is the standard. What you got to do now.
Yeah.
So you kind of either get with it or die off.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's like what it's come to. But it's whatever. I'm still gonna have fun with skateboard one way or the other. And my buddy even told me recently. I was just like, yeah, I kind of said the same thing. I'm like, Instagram, yeah, I probably should post more, and I'm gonna start too once I start branching into this next job that I'll be doing. But yeah, it's yeah, kind of.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
All right, so just as long as it doesn't take another 5 years for that footage to come out, I'll be super
It's
stoked.
gonna be 6.
It'll be 6 years.
7. Sorry, guys. It'll be my last part too before I get old.
Oh man, don't say that.
Kidding, I'm already old.
Don't say that. No, you're not.
No. I'm always gonna be putting out little clips here and there.
You got plenty of skating left in you, brother.
Oh, I can't wait. Absolutely, looking forward to it. Another 18 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Finally, adult in skateboarding years.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Let's tell people how to find you.
Okay. If you want, on Instagram as InstaSkateRat, spelled exactly how it should.
InstaSkateRat, all one word. All one word.
All one word. And then, yeah, I guess I have, a Facebook page that I rarely tend to, but yeah,
it's got to be.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check it out. Lot of stuff coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Thank you so much for having me here. It was rad kicking back and hanging out.
That's what's up. I appreciate
the coffee too.
I appreciate you coming. This has been About That Ender. If you want to find us on social media, we're at About That Ender on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, where all that stuff's coming. So, yeah, look us up. This has been your host, Keith, our audio wizard, Mr. Cameron, and we're out.